starting point. Okay, start value, whatever it is from there. So there is the quant. So this way we find out the price and quantity percentage term, and you can multiply by 100 if you use both the terms are numerator are multiplied by 100. Hardly will make any difference because when you are multiplying by the same percentage. So the problem which I told you is explained here in this slide, that if we are using the traditional method, then what will happen, that change in price and the starting point to arrive at. Similarly, change in quantity divided by starting point. So what we will do here to overcome this problem, for example, 250 and the price elasticity of increase or decrease, we will take in numerator average quantity. That is both the way. For example, if the price is the quantity is 200 like this, at 2 point we will take this. So the average. Similarly, price is 10 plus 15, we will take the midpoint like this in numerator. In numerator it will remain same. Otherwise, if we are going to calculate in case of increase and decrease, you will get a different number, and this becomes more magnified. Greater is the increase in increase or decrease in price. So that is why this adjustment is made, taking to consider this phenomena, why it will make it a confusing result. So let us go further and try to understand this problem. Let us see here. This example is given here. Okay. The price is 70, quantity demanded is price goes to 90, quantity demanded is 3000. Naturally, if price goes up, so if you are asked to find out change in price, the change in price will be that 90 minus 70, isn't it? Change in quantity is this 3000 minus 5000, simply minus 2. So it will be always be. So even if you ignore it, hardly make any difference. Okay. So, but here what we will do, that in numerator, instead of starting point, we will take average quantity. So here what we will do, that for price 90 plus 70 divided by, naturally when we take average, so it is, yes, so here you will take the average quantity in numerator. So divided by 2, 160, naturally divided by 2, the average quantity will be 80. So same way we can calculate the quantity. So 5000 plus 3000 divided by 2, it will be 8000. It will be average quantity will be 4000. And why we are taking the average quantity in numerator? I have told you. The reason is simply that if you want to calculate increase in elasticity from here to here, it will provide a different coefficient. If you are asked that price has fallen from 90 to 70, you will get a different answer. If you use the credit, that is why this adjustment is made to take into account the elasticity. You get the same measure of rise and fall. So the same thing has been calculated here in this slide using the MED5. So other thing I have explained there, the calculations. Naturally it is 2000 minus the 50%, and the case of fall, so it will be 2. So in either case you calculate it, one will be positive, another will be negative. So that is why on account of this, now if percentage in quantity demanded, this part divided by percentage change in price. So we have arrived at this in this way. So here we find that the coefficient is 2. It is a number which is telling that demand is elastic. In other words, If you change price by 1%, quantity demanded will fall by 2%. If you change price by 10%, quantity demanded will fall by 20, just double of that. Okay. So it means that the demand is sensitive to that. And that is why the response of the quantity demanded with the change in price is a very important factor. The relationship is well known that there is the price and quantity demanded are inversely related, but it gives a number. You will get a coefficient either, for example, if it is 50-50, then it will be coefficient will be 1. If it is like this case I have already taken, if it will be 40-50, it will be less than 1. Okay, so in this way it will be less elastic, and if it is the same, I have already, this is a greater than 1. So three figures, either it will be equal to 1 or more than 1. Equal to 1 is a theoretical possibility. Normally it is not that the change in quantity and change in price, just to understand it, that what, so it will have no effect on revenue. Whereas if your demand is elastic, you get like this, you increase price, then what will happen that the more quantity will reduce. Yes, what is the question?
Sir, what does it suggest equals to 1? What does it suggest?
Equal to 1 simply means that 50% in change in price, 50% change in quantity demanded and price. Same means that the price and quantity.
Sir, I got that, but what?
Implication is that it will not affect the revenue. Revenue will remain same.
I'm asking is.
What is your question?
Okay, thank you.
No, no. What is your question?
Sir, I think he is questioning about either it is more elastic and less elastic. What we can term as if elasticity is equal to 1.
Okay, it is
implication.
Less than 1 implication. I am telling you an implication. I will tell. If it is more than 1, it means that the demand is more sensitive. Like here. Okay. So one important factor is that if the demand is elastic, you'll see later on. Total revenue is nothing but P into Q, isn't it? Price into quantity demanded. So total revenue will fall because of increase. If demand is less than, if you increase the price, we will see later on the total revenue will not fall because the people will continue to buy and the change in quantity will be less than the change in, then therefore, and in this case there will be no change in revenue, it will remain constant. So this part I will explore later on, but this is the implication. So that is why if you get a coefficient more than 1 means demand is more sensitive. So one has to be very careful to understand this thing. So this is the implication.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Of this. But details are coming up when I take up again. This is just to tell you about what are these coefficients. Is it clear or not? If you can answer not clear, I will repeat it, but it is there further in discussion. Relationship between quantity demanded and why we are bothered about the elasticity concept.
Okay.
Oh. Now the question is, what determines price elasticity? What are the factors which affect elasticity? You know, this is written here. What are the determinants? Underlying factors which affect price. Why a good will be more elastic, why a good will be less elastic. Whenever I am saying more elastic means greater than 1 coefficient. If I am talking about less elastic, relative term means less than. Unitary elastic is a theoretical possibility, is a coefficient. I am not talking about, if it is unitary elastic, change in price will not affect the quantity and naturally revenue will not be affected at all. So like that. So there are several factors which affect price elasticity, and for instance, we can understand the determinants of elasticity by asking a simple question. Examples are given here in my slide. How many substitutes are available? What is the availability of the substitute? For instance, if price of X increases, what are the other substitutes available? Y, Z, and so on and so forth. So like here given, various, but something may not have close substitute. Even if price is increased, the consumer may continue to buy that or like that. So one determinant which we can find, greater the number of substitutes, more elastic will be the demand. Because if price of any good is increased, consumer have plenty of options, they can switch. Why they will continue to buy if you can substitute. So one of the important determinant is the number of substitutes. Greater the number, more elastic, because it offers possibility of substitution in case of rise in price of a product. Then the second important determinant is we can have in terms of whether the good in question is a necessity or it otherwise. Now here two examples are insulin. Even if price is increased, those who need, they may continue to use insulin, whereas people can postpone cruise, Caribbean, like it's luxury product. Okay, so price elasticity is higher for luxury, whereas than for necessities. So goods can be classified. If a good happens to be essential item, necessity, people may continue. Like the patient may not do away with this insulin, so they may. Whereas if the price of this increase, so it may happen that they may postpone it, because one will not die if one does not undertake a trip. So the crux of the matter is the price elasticity is greater for necessities than for luxuries. Because of the reason is that one can postpone, one can find other alternative, but for necessities you can't do away. Okay, that is why it is one of the investment. It is said that if you want to have a good return, you should invest in some company like McDonald's. But the thing is that people may continue to buy that despite all these. So they are not. So this is another factor which affects. Then third important factor is what is the period. You know, in short run, for example, the price of anything is increased. People may not be knowing the substitutes, which can be X can be replaced with Y. But in the long run, people can switch over to other substitutes. So in short period of time, elasticity, for example, if you take 1 year and take 2 years or 3 years, longer period is there. How short is not defined, but maybe month, maybe like that. So more than 1 year is called long period. So greater the length of the period, more elastic will be demand, because people will have search an option and may find an option, and they can do everything also. So if you calculate price elasticity at two different points, so the length of the period affects that. So in the long run, demand is more elastic in comparison to short run. What I am talking not in absolute term, I am talking in relative term. This is given the short run, whether demand is elastic or long run. Naturally, in the long run, because the reaction time, adjustment, shift to other products can be easily, whereas in short run it may not be possible. Then another important factor which affects elasticity is that how much you spend on that good. What is the amount of money which is spent, proportion. If a minuscule amount or a negligible amount is spent, people may not bother it. So what is the share of consumer budget? You know, if it is taking a large chunk of consumer budget, one may be sensitive to that. But if a small amount is spent, then people may not bother it, they may continue. If price of some very inelastic products like salt is decreased, people will not, this is an extreme example, may not start eating, consuming more salt. So that is why what is the importance of that product in the consumption basket of the consumer? How much it is spent, how much is allocated, what amount is consumed by. Greater the budget of that product, the more elastic will be demand, because that will lead to consumer to switch to some other or change the consumption pattern. So this brings together the four these determinants. The first factor which we discuss is that the elasticity is greater if close substitutes are available. In other words, greater the number of substitutes, more elastic will be the demand. Then the question is that types of goods. Necessities are less elastic demand than the product which we describe as the other spectrum, that is luxury product. And the horizon, time, period, length, yes. So higher elasticity is higher in the long run, then, because one can shift in the long run than the short run one may find. And also the money, which the amount, greater the proportion is spent on that good, more elastic will be demand. Like, so these are the four determinants which affect price elasticity of demand and how sensitive it is. Like, for instance, in marketing, you may study that people take the concept of brand loyalty is there. Okay. So what marketer they try to develop a loyalty that even if prices increase, people may continue to buy that. So if loyalty is there, then elasticity even if increase, the people may continue to that. So marketers they try to do that. But the elasticity is very important concept in understanding the response, the sensitivity of the demand by the buyer as a result of change in prices. Is it clear or not clear? Then I can explain and go further to explain other aspects of the elasticity. Now, given this thing, we can have the kind of demand curve which we have discussed, that the relationship between quantity demanded, but there are some theoretical and some other type of demand curve which we can find it, which require explanation because they have got implication in our understanding of this result. So we start with the perfectly inelastic curve. But let us assume that it is insulin for a patient. Okay. Now here you see the price elasticity of demand is percentage changing. Now you see that this line, this is the demand curve, is the vertical line. Price is this much is demanded. Price increase to this much, again this much is demanded. So there is no change in quantity because the consumers are not sensitive at all. Because it may be an essential, maybe I gave the example of insulin, for example, the dose that the. So in this case, if you divide anything by zero, zero is numerator and then you will get zero. So it is a perfectly inelastic demand. This may be a type of curve if you want to display it. Then we may have another two types of curves which can help us in understanding. If I draw two curves here, one is steeper and another flatter, dt and dt. Okay, please whenever I write the PQ, both are demand curve and both shows that higher the price more. Now this steeper curve is relatively inelastic. Let us take 2 points here. Okay. Let us say P1 and P1. Now reduce the price. Now here Q2 will be demanded and here. So you see that the price change is this much slightly greater and this is lower. So this is delta Q is lower than this is like more. Now take this. Just remove this. Don't go by my drawing. I'm not very good in drawing, okay? So you should understand. For example, the price is P1, Q1 is demanded. Now change to price. Now delta P is this much only, whereas you see here change in Q is much larger. So naturally, so in order to show on a graph that whether a product, whether demand is elastic or inelastic, so this explains that here the change in Q is much larger than the change in this. Here the change in price is the larger than the change in quantity. So that is why if a curve relatively is steeper, for example, you are given two curves. This one is steeper and this one like this. Pass, which is more elastic. This is more elastic in comparison to this is less elastic. So this is just a matter of explanation that for example, this is a steeper curve here in comparison to this curve. You know, this is unitary elastic. I will come to this point later. This is elastic, slightly flatter like this. So this is explained here. The percentage change in and more than, you know, is greater than 10% naturally quantity demanded, and so that will be coefficient will be greater. Now a special case may be where the change in quantity and is exactly similar. So it is by design it has been made that the total area, if you take rectangle, hyperbola, the cube will be same. That it is called percentage change in quantity demanded at same that the coefficient will be 1. So it has been designed in such a way that this is called the area. This area will be change in P into Q will be same. That is the revenue will not. So it is a case of the unitary elastic. Now a case may be that where demand is infinite elastic, and this you will come across in perfect competition. Now you see this curve, demand curve is horizontal. Price is here, quantity is here. Now at this price any quantity can be, you know. This type of demand curve is prevalent in a market which is perfectly where close substitutes are available, standardized products are available, and so therefore no seller will be increase the price. So either you sell at the market determined price, either the consumer will switch to the other available product. So that is why this curve is, for example, here the percentage in quantity and percentage change, here it is 0. Okay, price is this much. So naturally anything, if you divide any percentage change in Q this at this point and divide by 0, so it will give the elasticity which will be infinitely elastic. And this is a type of demand curve actually is to explain the behavior of the firms, which we'll see in third unit, where the firm cannot influence the price. Either you sell at that price or you leave the market. If you increase the price, consumer will switch over. So no sane consumer will do this thing. So these are some of the types of demand curve which we may come across, and that is why I tried to explain this thing. Elastic flatter, it is same. The entire and elastic will be steeper and like that. Now there is something which needs to be told about the, I will leave it to you to think over. Let us say a linear demand curve is there. Okay, linear demand curve is there. Whether elasticity will be same on this demand curve or will vary, because on a straight line change is constant, isn't it? So when a change is constant, whether the price elasticity of demand will vary. For example, if you are here, this price and quantity, whether demand, what type, whether you are, for example, price is this much, let us say, at this point, whether if you are here, whether as we move along this demand curve, this, whether elasticity will differ or not. This point I will take up in my next class. For the moment, I can just tell you that the formula is percentage in quant divided by percentage. It has been elaborated here, change in Q, and we have just slightly rearranged this equation in the form of P upon Q and K delta K and delta P. Now I am leaving it to you on a thinking note that if P upon this is constant on the demand curve, linear, straight line, what is varying is this. For instance, if you take very high, but this at this point, this divided by this. So this, on account of this, the elasticity on a straight line demand curve will differ at different points, will not be same. But this discussion I will take up in my next class in more detail to illustrate you. But I am giving you the reason why this will happen in this way. Any question you have, you can ask before I close.
So, in the last type of elasticity, you told us about the perfect competition scenario. So, is that scenario practically possible?
Perfect competition is an approximation of real world market, isn't it? In some areas, perfect competition means the assumptions are very strong assumptions. But when you have large number of buyers and sellers, then the reason why one may have faced that kind of where you can't influence the price, the reason is that whether you are a price taker or price influencer maker, like demand and supply will determine. Now if produce, let us say thousands of farmers, millions of farmers are there. Wheat price, just an example. Now a small wheat farmer cannot influence the price. So if for him at this price he can supply any quantity of output, isn't it? So that is why we take this as an example in ideal state where the large number of competitors are there, and for demand curve, for a small farmer, you sell at this price any quantity, whatever. You can't influence the price because it is determined by the industry, the number of buyers and sellers in a particular market, that will determine it. So
it is ideal from the point of view of consumer, no?
Not the point of view. I am talking about the price in the, not the consumer point of view, but here he has a different question. He asked a question that is case of perfect competition, whether price will be as whether you can influence the price or not, like this type of demand curve. So where this type of demand curve one may find, it will depend upon the market. What type of market structure is there, whether you can influence it or not. The supplier can supply, because here we are looking at the elasticity from the viewpoint of the organization. If you change the price, what effect it will have on the quantity demanded. We are looking at this. So that is why whenever you are talking that at this price you can sell any quantity to consume, those who are the buyers, consumer, whatever you call it. So that is why you do not influence it, and that is why this curve is like this, which we explain it there in that way. So in real world, the perfect competition situation does not fail, because the only approximation is agriculture produce market, where large number of farmers are there and no seller can influence the price. As if you want to sell it, you can sell it any. So look, not only farmer, we are talking about organization. So naturally a seller is also will be sensitive to price. For example, if it says that no, I will not sell at this, I will sell at this price. Because these close substitutes are available, standardized products, so consumer will switch, those buyers will switch to other. So that is why this possibility is more of a theoretical possibility, but it has got implications for our understanding of other type of market structure. But I think that this is too early to address an issue like this.
Thank you, sir.
So we'll carry forward this discussion in the next class as well, and where we will take up start with the point which I told you just now, that why elasticity and a linear demand curve will differ, and then some relationship between price, elasticity, and revenue, and other types of elasticities, income and cross, we will take up in next class.